up.
Yeah.
And then you were slated to go to South Dakota.
I did go to South Dakota.
So you went. So again,
I went until I believe 3 days before phase 3.
okay. So Babbitt he went to South Dakota for accelerated OCS, state OCS, which means he would have been done in 3 months, right?
2 months.
So it would have been
I
two
believe
months
9
in
weeks
South
specifically.
Dakota. 9 weeks in South Dakota is
Yeah.
our traditional state. What we're doing now is we go to 2 weeks, and we went 2 weeks in June to Kansas, and then we came back and after we completed phase 1, and now we do phase 2 over the course of basically a year, and then we go to phase 3 in June again, and we come back after we complete our 6 lanes, and we're basically ready to be officers if we make it through that process. So, what happened to you in South Dakota? What?
Like, why did I come to traditional?
Yes, why did you come back to traditional? I mean, did you?
Oh, I was just too good. I was too cool. They needed to humble me.
Oh,
Yeah, I was just too great.
That's
No, I broke myself. It wasn't even. I passed the 4 mile. I passed the 12-mile ruck, and then like on like a routine thing, I just broke myself, and then like I had to go home. Sergeant First Class Walker was like, "Man, that sucks," and then I came up here with OC Bottoms and Moulton.
okay.
Yeah, or sorry, Specialist Bottoms, Civilian Bottoms now, I believe.
Civilian bottoms now. So
Yeah.
So we had 3 come back from Oklahoma, from South Dakota. And South Dakota is, again, it's where it's
brutal.
the candidate killer. It's where, I mean, Oklahoma quit sending candidates there for a while because the attrition rate was so bad in South Dakota.
It's brutal. It's like you run everywhere with that pack on, and like it weighs more than what we put in it. Because like they give you textbooks, they give you like a lot of note taking material, they give you so much stuff. Because I think in the back of their mind they're like, yeah, we'll see if it breaks them, right? And like you know how like Sergeant sit and checked us for water while we were in the field
Yeah,
every day,
every day.
every day, even when we were like right before going to phase 3, every day. Uh, like it's just stuff like that. They very attention to detail oriented, very much everything had to be like just perfect. Room inspections, or sorry, locker inspections every day. There were times regularly where like you had to lock up your duffels, and if your duffels weren't locked, like in the way that they couldn't open it, they would still just rip it open and just dump everything out. That's why I don't have a fleece, and it makes me so mad because I locked up my duffel. This captain comes in and he like is like he locked the duffel. I could see the strings, and he just like he pulled it open as best he could, and he just shoved everything out of my duffel, and I was like, all right. And so I went and grabbed all my stuff, and I was like, my fleece is missing. And somebody was like, we'll find it later. And I'm pretty sure that guy stole my fleece.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That's surprising, too. I mean, our bay was pretty trustworthy in Kansas. Like, if people had their stuff, they left their locker unsecured or something, I mean, most people were pretty helpful about getting stuff back.
Yeah, they would help you find it.
Yeah.
We had a pretty chill.
That's why I'm shocked. I will not lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those that do. That's the OCS motto, and that's so the fact that somebody took it. That's a no-no.
Yeah. There were
violation.
I don't believe that accelerated. I'm gonna be careful with my words here. I don't believe that accelerated prepares you for being an officer, nor does it focus on the things that
Matter
might not be the right word. The things that I believe would be useful to, like the honor code, stuff like that. That's still a thing, right? But it's more of like, if we're mad at you, we're going to, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, as opposed to like here, where like it always matters all the time, you know? Like, it's just like, I don't know. What I learned from accelerated OCS is next to nothing, except for how to pass the tests. And that's why I was able to pass. I mean, I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but in traditional, I still was pretty knowledgeable about most of the things, just because like they drill it into your head nonstop, and like you don't need that information. You don't, with all due respect, you don't need to know the history of the military so much as you need to know the why you need to know the history of the military. You know, you're never going to be in a situation where you call for fire and like your RTO or whoever and your forward observer isn't going to be like making sure you're correct, right? You just need to know why you need to know that, and that's what I think traditional is set up to do. Is like it's supposed to give you the why, right? The accelerated is set up to give you the answer.
Yeah, it's set up to just get as many people through as they can,
Get as many people through as they can, or break people
as
in the
quickly as
process.
possible. Yeah. So so we at traditional we actually get a lot of exposure with our cadre. Like we get a lot of hands-on personal experience with our cadre. So we have some really good we have some fantastic instructors. We've had some pretty fantastic black hats too. Even when the black hats were messing us up, like the sergeants and stuff, like it really hasn't been all that bad. It's been they're very knowledgeable. They all know exactly what they're doing. They're experts in their field. So we've really lucked out in state OCS. I'm really glad that I chose to do state OCS instead of accelerate. Would it be nice to already have the butter bar and be commissioned? Absolutely, and be done with this stuff. But we're learning at a very good pace, I think.
Well, some perspective that I have, because a lot of my friends that went to Accelerate with me, they don't know what they're doing. And I don't mean that to be like disrespectful to them, because like they're my friends. I like talk to them still to this day, right? But like they get to their unit and they're just like shell shocked, right? Like they freeze because like they don't know what to do. They're treated like they don't know what to do, and like they're just sort of like babysat by a sergeant first class most of the time. And again, not trying to talk bad on them at all, because they were very smart people. They're all college educated. They're all like really good at like military stuff, right? But like the ones that just went to accelerated straight off the bat, and then they just like went to their unit, it's a very harsh learning curve. And so like traditional, well, I don't think it's going to prepare the people here that haven't been to a unit before. Like I think me, Dukin, and Ivy are going to be like not perfectly fine, where there's going to be a bit of an adjustment
But you're
period.
gonna have a really better working knowledge of how everything's gonna
Yeah,
work when you
like,
show up.
but like somebody like you or Chad or like I don't know, Egger, you guys are going to like, at least from like my thoughts, are like you guys are going to be able to like catch up better than I think the people in Accelerated, because there was this chief there in Accelerated, Miss Harrington, really nice lady, or who like straight up went up to me one day, or went up to like my squad one day and was like, "Listen, it's clear to me that a lot of you haven't been to the army before, and your state failed you by bringing here." Because the purpose of Accelerated is to get NCOs into becoming officers. That's the purpose of it. It's not to just like fast track people. So like it's just sort of like your perspective on it. Do you want to learn on the job, or do you want to be prepared to get there?
Yep, absolutely. That's sound advice and
Yeah.
good advice from a seasoned NCO as well.
Yeah.
So, like
Chiefs are commissioned.
chief. So yeah, chief. Excuse me, chief. So, Mrs.
Yes. Yes.
But State OCS has done a really good job, I think, of preparing us. Like that we have, and the best thing is too, it's like the tax that you have at Accelerated or the ones that we even had at Phase 1. We don't have their contact information. We're not going to chat with them. Like the cadre we have here at State OCS, if I need to call somebody, I could call like Captain McGuire. I could get his phone number, and be like, "Hey, sir, I'm having a tough time at my unit figuring out how stuff works. Could you give me a resource, or maybe tell me what I should probably do?" And he would probably reach out and be like, "Yeah, this is a couple of things I can send your way to make you better prepared to do this." And that's what we get at Accelerate. It's more like an internship, I guess, than just like here, they just throw you in the mix and just say, "Good luck."
Yeah. To be fair, you're not done training to be a second lieutenant until Bullock anyway.
Yeah,
so
until
it's
you
like,
become a first lieutenant.
yeah. I don't know. For me, I'm happy that I'm in traditional. Do I think I could have passed accelerated? Probably. Am I grateful that like I'm getting more learning? Also, yes.
Yeah, I remember whenever Babbitt came back, he was like, "I almost got done with Phase 2," and we're like, "Great, you can help us with all this stuff." And he's like, "I have no idea what we're doing here." And I was like, "What do you mean? You just did it?" And he goes, "Yeah, but it wasn't like this."
Yeah.
And I was like, "So the program is so different."
Yeah, I was. Okay, the tests are the same. I was able to help with the tests as best I can. Okay, so here's the issue with the tests. We're done with the test, so I think I'm comfortable saying this. Captain Taylor pulled me to the side before we did the first test, I think, or maybe it was directly after we did the first test, and was like, "Hey, man, here's the issue. You know all the answers. You can help people as best you can, But if you say like if you tell them like this is what's on the test, that's an honor code violation. If you do anything like that, if you like are like that's why whenever I'm gonna mention a story, and this story is one. Okay, so you remember during one of the tests, I was like, I don't know if this is. I can't tell you that this is on the test, but I wouldn't focus on this too much because I verbalized it in that
Yes.
specific way.
Yeah.
And there was a certain candidate who was like, "Well, why are you saying it like that? You say you can't say that it's on test? Why are you doing
Yes.
that?"
Yeah.
It's like, bro, I'm trying my best to be like, you're asking the wrong questions,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
I'm trying not to get honor code violate, but of course he doesn't know that. But
Yeah,
yeah, you're sitting there trying to. You're
yeah,
walking a very tight rope,
yeah. We're like,
trying to get like, and most of us picked up on it, but the rest of
yeah.
some of us, yeah, some
I
of
was
us
like,
didn't.
listen, I don't remember having to worry about this. Stop asking me questions about this because
Mhm.
they tell you what's on the in South Dakota. They don't tell you what's on the test, but they're like, you
Yep.
know what I mean?
Foot stomping.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot. I don't know how good these mics are. Here, if you want, I can kick the desk.
Yeah.
uh, yeah. So like, it's one of those things where it's like, if I don't remember something about the material, it's because it's not on the test. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes
And
perfect
that's why
sense.
I was trying to be like, I don't remember this. I didn't worry about it. You know, again, not to like talk too much trash on another candidate who, again, I'm not going to name drop, but
But yeah, so with that being said, what advice do you have for anybody incoming into the army or who's coming into OCS? What would you say to them about what their outlook should be, and just good, I mean, dad advice or just
okay.
advice in general,
Um,
about folks coming into the military or just for life?
okay. I stole this from a comic book. Uh, So credit to Tom King from Superman Up in the Sky. I think it's issue 6. I'm not gonna get all comic nerdy right now, but there is this thing that I read in it that like kind of stuck with me, and that is the end of the mission is always 50 meters away. So like I think what I took from that is like you need to focus on like the here and now. Who cares about the big picture because that's not going to help you in the long run. You know what I mean? I mean the big picture will help you, but and like but when you're in like the heat of it, right? And like you're in like a stressful situation, the most you can do is focus on what is happening, where you're going, and how you're going to get past that 50-meter hurdle, right?
Right.
Um, and that's advice that a lot of NCOs will give you as well. So I feel comfortable saying that because I'm sure that like whatever your first line, whenever you get to your unit, they'll probably tell you something similar to that.
Yeah.
When it comes to the enlisted side, I would say your best bit of advice is to not hide. To not hide. Yeah, this is how I'd word that. Because too many people in the guard, they're like, listen, I'm here for college. I'm just going to get in, get out. Excuse me. Get in, get out, and then like call it a day, right? Um, and there's the common joke that you show up to drill for first formation. You go around, you talk to your NCO, I see, and then you sit in a broom closet for 2 hours while everybody else does stuff. You know, that's like the common joke of what like everybody E1 to E5 does, right? Uh, but I don't think that that's helpful. I don't think that's productive, and I don't think that that's getting you anything. You know, like my first time at my first unit, like the NCOs were annoyed with how much I was just being like, "Hey, what can I do?" To be fair, I just come from a retail background, and I
Mhm.
just come from basic and AIT, so the idea of downtime just was non-existent in my brain at that
Yeah.
point, and so like they were just like, "I don't know, take out this trash, I guess," and I was like, "Cool, sure, whatever," you know. Just like stay busy, keep up with it. On the officer side, as somebody who isn't commissioned yet, so I don't know that I can say too much. Like that is very useful. I think that everything is based on perspective, right? Like I think that like there are gates to things, and you may not pass them, and that's gonna suck. But if you look at it from the mentality of like life is terrible because this happens, then what you're going to end up doing is you're going to be stuck always failing that gate, you know? Like but if you look at it from the perspective of like this sucked, but tomorrow we can do better, then you can possibly pass, you know? And again, it's not definite, right? Nothing's definite in life, but there's nothing there's nothing useful from our regressive mentality.
Right. I like it. I like it.